Well, here we are on a glorious summer's day in Wales. The temperature is set to get to 30 degrees, so Caroline and I are out good and early. We're on the Rhymney River. Now, we've been on this river before, but never here at Fleur-de-Lys. Fleur-de-Lys is the one village in this part of Wales that has a French name, as it was settled many years ago by the Huguenots. So let's see what we can find as we go mudlarking in the Rhymney River.
That's the river. It looks really tempting today because it's so hot. And there, on the ground, are some nice steps for us to get down, because this is a rather steep banking without them.
Of course, they're not man-made steps, because it's courtesy of this lovely big tree here that's provided us with a root system that's given us access to the river. Nature is a wonderful thing.
That's the river, but before I go into the river, I found this stream. It looks difficult to get up, but well, let's go and have a little look. I don't think there's anything in it, but let's check. So pop your wellies on. It's our first paddle of the day. Oops, sorry if it's a bit bumpy. I'm having to bend right over just to get through the gap. Right, we'll keep going. Oop. There's something under there. Can you see something there? Let's see if I can reach under with my grabber. Oh, that's nice. A bit of old pot. Oh, hear the noise that makes. That sounds so nice. Oh, there's a little tiny piece of pottery. That is patterned, so I'll pop that in my bag. That'll be useful for my mosaic. Ooh, it's getting very narrow now. Lots of trees, so I don't think we can go any further. Let's go back down the river. I'm on my way back to the river and I found this. Can you see how circular that is? Surely that's not natural. Oh, I think it's blue. This looks exciting. I don't know how much of it there is. Let's see if I can set the camera up to show you the digging process. Ooh. Now this is a bit of excitement. It goes down a long way. Well, that's a very nice piece of china there that Phil found. But I want to get this big thing out.
Okie doke, you pop a china in the bag. Shall I put it in there?
Yep. Let's use a shovel instead. Ah, it's moving now, which isn't necessarily a good thing. Oh, look, it's broken. Wow, look at the size on that.
It's definitely blue.
It's glass or pottery, I can't tell. I need to take that down the big river and wash it, and I'll get back to you. Right, let's go down to the river, wash that and see what it is.
Oh, I did find half a brick in, yeah?
Oh, right, you found a brick.
I found half a brick and it's the wrong half.
Oh, the bit without the words on, is it?
No, it's got a word on it, but the word is Brick Company.
Oh.
So I don't know which brick company. I just get it up out the water. See on there? That's brick company, that says.
Oh, yes.
Very faded, it's an old brick. But I don't know
well.
which brick company.
We'll keep looking for more. Right, let's go down to the river. Down these steps. There's fabulous limestone steps here. All natural. It is quite a lovely area to come in the summer with a picnic, or to go paddling or jumping in the water, or for washing your finds that you've been discovering while mudlarking. I am excited to see what this is. Ideally it would be pottery with a name on the bottom.
No name.
That's really weird. Is it soft inside or is that cement?
No, actually.
Ah.
I think this might be.
Yeah, I'm starting to think it's not what I thought it was.
No, I think it's a cement post
Yep.
that's been painted blue.
Yeah, I think you're right. Oh, I thought it was the
Look at
bottom of a big blue glass or
No, I look
ceramic
cracking,
jar.
but no, I'd say
Aw.
that's solid concrete. It's a post perhaps from the park area up above us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looked good.
yeah. Nearly as good as half a brick with the wrong half.
I'm walking along the edge, seeing if there's anywhere worth getting in just yet, and I've seen something in the water there. Now, do you think that's a piece of pipe stem, which would be the first piece we've ever found in Wales, or is it a cigarette butt? Should we check? It's a cigarette butt. I think I've seen our first ball of the day. Can you see it? I think it's a golf ball. Yes, it's a Slazenger golf ball.
Interesting bit of time work or something, yeah. Not sure what that
Let's
is.
have a look on the other side. Oh, there's a heavy one. A bit of an old flooring block, I think, possibly. What do you reckon?
Could well be from the colliery.
Could be.
There's several collieries on this river. Britannia was just up there. You had Pengham Colliery, you had Bagard Colliery. There's probably a fair bit of stonework, brickwork and flooring deposited along here. And that's probably a bit of it. Perhaps out of the baths, who knows.
Ooh, there's a big piece of metal. I don't know if that's off anything old. It looks quite modern to me. Don't think it's been in the water long enough to have been anything historical.
It's going to be a stone, and it's going to be a stone.
What have you found? Oh, that's interesting.
No, it's not a
Let's
stone.
have a look. It's got a pattern on it.
It's not a stone, is it?
No. Got lots of lumps in it. Let's give it a swill.
It looks like a stone from one side.
I think that looks like a floor tile. What do you think?
Ah, yes, I can see.
And then it's got a
That's
pattern on it.
well worn, that is.
That's a Victorian tile. I think that's part of an urn. And I think it's from a fireplace tile.
Could well be. Got a few other bits by here, see?
Oh, what have you got?
Just odds. It's a top of something.
Right.
I think at the edge of a jar or something.
Oh yes, you can see the curve inwards. Nice.
Just a couple of bits of plain.
Right, you
just
always
to-
pick those up, don't
Just to
we?
pop in the mosaic pile.
Yep.
And that's a strange bit of bottle.
It looks like it could be off one of those cod bottles where there was a marble in the top.
Possibly.
This year would have pinched the marble so that it couldn't fall into the bottle.
Hasn't been in the river that long. Some of the edges have smoothed, but there's still a few chips and nicks on it that are sharp, so
Right.
curious.
Does this
Curious.
mean we're going to find bottles? We'll keep looking. Right, I've just called Phil to come and pick something up.
I had found a
You-
way across the river,
He may fall in.
but I've got to be careful because it's very slippery. It's got like green slime on the rocks. And it's quite fast flowing now, so live in hope I might fall in.
Oh, we wouldn't want to see you fall in, would we?
No, not much. There we go. What do you need, dear?
Well, I found this piece of metal here. As you can see, it goes around there, and there's another piece there, and there's this sort of hingey thing sticking up. Now, I don't know if even Phil can get that lifted out of the sludge. It may be under that rock too. could be modern, could be old. I really have no idea.
Having cut my finger the other day, I'm going to be all posh and sophisticated now.
All right.
And I'm going to impress everyone by putting on a glove.
Oh, well done. Very conscientious.
Because I did end up with a bleeding finger the other day. Off a piece of, I think it was radio stuff, wasn't it? Like a circuit board or something I tried pulling out. Here we go. Look at that. Dun, dun,
There we
dun.
go. Let's see what it is that's going to come out. Oh, it's lifting. It's lifting. It's metal. And it's heavy. Oh, what on earth is that? Wow.
Put it this way, it's
I
not
like
going in
it.
my bag.
Oh. Get some of these gungy bits off. Oh, that's an interesting lump of something. No idea what it is. But let's have a look what this big thing is. Right, it's one of those. So I think this has probably come from the colliery because it's old. But do you have any idea what that could possibly be, Phil? These sticky out bits there. The sticky out bits there, and that one's a bit rusted, but it's there. What on earth is that?
Oh yeah.
I would imagine one of those was there, and that one's rotted a bit.
Yeah, and there was one there, I think. If you have a look at the back, I think these are rivets, you see?
It's actually quite beautiful if you just look at all the bits of rust. Isn't that gorgeous? So we've no idea what that is. Some sort of machinery. I think it's probably too big for us to carry back though. Lovely thing.
It's definitely part of the industrial history and heritage of this location. Because as I mentioned at the very outset, this place was first developed by the Huguenots, who set up a smelting business here when they were exiled and on the run from France, and then the water has drawn people for centuries. And of course mining was the last big thing, so I tend to think towards mining. But what is it?
It's one of those.
Could it be
Oh, could it be?
part of a bridge?
Could be.
With the big rivets? Could this have been, because it looks quite arty,
Yes, it's pretty.
did these rivets go through beams or girders and form a bridge?
Could be.
Was there an old bridge on this river that's gone? You know, lost in time. We'll have to check the maps and see if there was an older bridge that was demolished. Well, mystery solved. We know what brick company it was, because that's the same lettering for brick company. Star Brick Company.
Very nice.
There we go.
Doesn't it sound nice? The Star Brick Company. I was looking in the river, found this little bit of erosion and thought, let's have a look if there's anything on the banking. And there's this, which is a cuff for taking somebody's blood pressure. Now that's not the sort of thing you find every day down at the river. There's the end with a plastic bit on, so I don't think it's extremely old. I've no idea at all how we got here. So if you need your blood pressure checked, then you know where to come. We'll sort you out. I don't think that'd be even vaguely reliable, even if it had the bit on the end that actually did all the workings.
Right, 2 more bricks. Both interesting for different reasons. One, I haven't had that before. ABC, which I think is going to be something like Abertillery, Aberdare, somewhere Brick Company.
Could well be.
That's what I'm thinking. I'll have to find out. This one doesn't have a name on the other side, but it shows that it's part of our industrial past because...
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
It's like a giant bar of chocolate.
Yeah, that would have been a floor brick. So there we go.
Very nice.
2 bricks.
What's this? Can you see something there? It's square. Peel ceramic. Oh, it's one of those. Got all these dots on the back. Do you know what this is, Phil?
But it's not a brick.
No, it's not. It's definitely not.
No. Electrical.
Yep, I think you could be
Yeah.
right, but other than
Probably a bit earlier than our modern digital age.
that- yeah,
It's more like a lump of something that would have come out of an old telly or radio,
right.
because that's metal on the back. We don't use metal anymore, we use plastic. And rather than circuitry, it's just riveted on. So I'd say something out of some 1950s, 1960s
Could well be.
electronics.
We found another little beach. It's got some nice big boulders, perfect seats for having your picnic on. So let's have a look, see what we can see on this beach.
I found something.
Oh, Phil's found something.
Caroline found our ball as always, but I've spotted, well, hang on, two things. Because I spotted this,
Oh,
which is our
look at
ridge
that.
pottery.
Ridge pottery. If we didn't find ridge pottery, it just wouldn't be a day out.
But look at that for a bit of river glass. And turn it over.
Also something written on it.
Got isn't it an R?
Oh yes, R.
There we go.
Oh, that's a nice
That's a
little piece of
beautiful
glass.
bit of river glass.
That is definitely going into my collection. Let's have a look if we can see anything else. There's a bit of rope. I wonder what's on the other end of that. Oh look! Some nuts, some baby nuts, which means if we look at, this must be a nut tree. We pop those back down so the squirrels can have them. Pop them on the rock so they're nice and clear. And let's see what else we can see. Don't forget, shout if you see something. Oh, is that a bit of tile? Either tile or ceramics. Let's see if we can find some sunshine for it. There we go. Either a piece of tile or ceramics. I wonder which. Or ceramic tile. There's lots of little bits of glass, but they're quite modern, I think. Oh no, that one's not too bad. And that one's not too bad. They're not very old, I don't think. Lots of little bits of ceramics, nothing exciting really. What have you found? Oh, look, it's the top of a bottle. That's nice, definitely old. It's not a screw top.
And not very well worn on the edges. I think that's river glass that's broke. Because
Right.
it's smooth on the surface, you know, it's got that mottled effect, but
It's
the edges
broken again. Yeah.
still a bit sharp on the one side. Rubber?
Ooh.
Rubber?
Is that rubber, is it? Oh yes. I thought it was some sort of pot or jar, and it's a rubber tube.
There's a bit of china there.
Do you think this is plain or patterned? Plain.
And what's that?
Oh, now I don't like bones or teeth, as many of you know, so that would be staying.
Yeah.
It's a tooth or a tooth, either a horse or a cow, I'd say.
Can we flick him over?
Go on then.
No, you don't want him.
There we go. Oh, there's a piece of ready-built wall.
Aye.
Don't know if you can see it under the water there. All the bricks all still joined together, and they're quite small bricks, so I think that is quite an old bit of wall. Do you think that's come from the colliery, Phil?
Quite possibly. Quite possibly.
Oh, I've seen something. Can you see something there? I think that looks interesting. You never know, sometimes you think something's really interesting, pick it up and it's a rock. Oh, it's metal. Now is that caliper off a bike?
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I
But
can start building a bike as well as a car.
just checking by the bit of wall that you spotted, and I found a loose brick.
Oh, right, what's
And
on
I
it?
have solved the mystery of where the Star Brick Company was.
Aha.
There you go, Cumbran. There we go, Star Cumbran. So the Star Brick Company was in Cumbran, and when they were producing the bricks at this point, now we'll have to try and find out whether this is earlier or later, but that is one of the smaller bricks you referred to in our wall. You can see the dimensions of that brick is definitely less than the others we were looking at.
What have you found?
I thought it was a bit of plastic pipe, but it's not, look.
Oh, yes.
It's only because the top is coming away. I can see it is a spring, the coil. It looked like a bit of pipe up until then.
Oh. Ah, look at that. Does anybody know what that is? I'll pop it on there. That's the bottom. If I turn it over, that is for putting the rugby ball on before you take a kick. I'm not sure what the technical term is. Do you know what the technical term is, Phil?
The thingy to put the rugby ball on when you take a kick.
There we go. We'll take that because it's plastic, doesn't really belong in the river. So we'll pop that in the recycling.
They used to just do a little tump of sand, but then they switched to more modern methods.
Patrick.
There we go.
What's that? Let's find some sunlight to show you. Give it a swill. Oh no, that's nice. That's quite old. Do you think it's old or is it not because of the square hole there? Good screw ends on either side. Do you think it's possibly the bottom of a light bulb? An older light bulb? Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Think a light fit in, do you?
Threaded there, look. And threaded there, not like you screw the collar on. It might be the base of a light fit in, perhaps.
Could be. Right, there's somebody's knitted jumper, and underneath I've spotted this thing sticking out here. What do you think that is? Oh, very firmly stuck. There we go, get the man with the gloves. It's big. It's been there a while.
I'm not sure. I think it may be there for a while longer too.
I think it's part of the bike. That's what I'm going for. Because I'm looking there, is that a bit of a cog?
Two spikes there.
Oh, right, so it can't be that.
Is there spikes on there?
Let's keep guessing. What could it be? Part of a car?
No.
No? Ah, no, I've got some bad news. If there are spikes on that, I've just spotted some spikes down there. So I think that's possibly part of a gate. Let's turn around this way, see if you can see clearer.
The top of the wall where they put the spikes to stop you from. Yeah.
Can you see the spikes there? So I think it possibly goes all the way up underneath Phil's wellies and to there. It's either a gate or a fence panel.
I'd say it's possibly a rail.
Yep.
That's screwed on bolted down on top of a wall to stop naughty young people climbing in.
Could well be.
Because there were a lot of naughty young people living in these parts when I was a boy.
Were there? Were you one of them?
Couldn't possibly comment. Now I appreciate that bricks are not everyone's cup of tea.
No, they're not mine.
But we all like different things. But one thing you will learn from bricks that applies to everything. The more you look, the more you find, the more you learn. And although this is quite faded, I know that says St. Julian's Brick Company, Newport. Because I've seen one of these bricks before. And we know where St. Julian's is. We've driven through there. Tech support. Tim used to live near there. That's our son that lives at home. He used to live near here. And I don't think the brick company's there anymore, but there we are, a very old brick. Again, smaller brick, St. Julian's Brick Company. Now we've come up the river perhaps 200-300 metres from where I found our first bit of tile, but see?
Yes.
It seems to be the same colour.
Yep, it's got a nice swirly pattern.
It'll certainly look nice in the collection for the museum.
It will. Oh, here's a piece of pottery. Do you think that's plain or patterned? Oh, it's patterned. Oh, look at that. That's a very, is it neoclassic style, they'd say, with an urn on? Very nice. That's a good sign for finding bits of pottery on this part of the beach. Bit of glass. Oh, there's another piece of blue. Now, that is a tile. You can see on the bottom, they put these rough bits so that it'll stick to the tile adhesive. Very pretty and blue again. Oh, I can see something, can you? In the sunlight it's really shining, but I don't think that's picking up on the camera from where I can see. Follow my finger, can you see it? It's money, is it? Oh no, it doesn't feel thick enough for money. Oh, it is. There's the Queen's head. It's a 10p. Ooh, we're in the money. Oh, there's a base of something. Nothing pretty on it, and there's something poking out here. Oh, that seems to be something electrical, possibly. I spotted this and thought maybe it was the end of a spoon, so I lifted up that stone, and it wasn't. It's like a piece of strapping, I think. You can see a hole there. And next door to it was this piece of pipe. This is a piece of metal coated with plastic, and I think it's the handle of a doll's pram or a buggy, because of these ridges here either side, which is where you would put your hands so that you didn't slip. So I think it's a bit big for a doll's pushchair or pram, so I think that's from a pushchair or pram from a baby. And also I found this right by the side too. It's a little bit of a fossil. Where can I hold it so you can see it properly? Because it's so pretty. You can see the ridges. Ah, here comes my intrepid explorer through the woods. What have you found?
A very nice screwdriver.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, it is that. It's a posh one. It's got a hammer spot on the top, and you can put a spanner on it to twist it. So I'd say that's a good quality screwdriver that's been lost.
Oh, right. There's no name on it, is there?
Not that I can see.
Let's have a look at the end. It's a Phillips end.
Yeah,
or a
Posy drive.
Posy drive, yes.
Phillips, we call them. You see, it's got
Very
this here,
nice.
so that you can give it a whack if you need to. You can put a spanner on it and turn it. The colouring suggests Stanley, but there's no name on it that I can see anyway. It's been in the river a fair bit.
Well, very useful though. We'll use that on our travels when we're mudlarking.
And you probably know it's not going to be plain.
No,
because I carried it up the river.
Let's have a look. Okay, we'll go for the colour guess. I'm going to guess blue. Yes, it's blue. Oh, that's lovely.
Nice, isn't it? Found it on the edge of that beach you were on.
We're going to go up off the river and across and back down because it's getting a little bit deeper there. And on the way up I spotted these. There's this piece of what I think is copper pipe. Probably off somebody's central heating system. I don't think it's that old. And I pop that down, pick this up. It's a piece of cast iron. Let's pop it on there. I don't know what this is off. What do you reckon? It's hollow underneath. What's the shape on the top? Somebody may recognise that. I don't. I have no idea what it is. Let us know in the comments below, please. Do you think that's off a gun? An old shotgun? And the barrel would lie in there. Just a thought. I have no idea. I've never even held a shotgun.
Right, we've just come along through the trees there, and we're going to go back down into the river here, but just thought it was interesting, this rather recent job that's been done on putting a pipeline across, because about 100 yards that way we found a large pipe, exactly the same diameter as this. So I can only imagine they dropped one while they were working, and they decided they'd just get another one in place. Well, let's have a look what we can find in the river here.
I've had a thought. As we were walking along, I think this piece of metal here is actually something from an old toilet tank. They used to fix them to the wall and then put a toilet tank on top with a pipe leading down to the toilet, and this held the sort of flush mechanism. Which brings me to the point of flushing the chain. I reckon that people nowadays, the youngsters, wouldn't even know what flushing the chain actually means. I can remember the days when you pulled a handle that was attached to a chain that was attached to this tank that would be on top of this support, and all the water would come down and flush the toilet. Right, this is not something that we like to collect.
A recent bit of litter, I think. Looks like it's blown in, but I tell you what, we won't just recycle it, quite possibly reuse it.
Why not?
I'll keep it with me now, and if we find anything large, we can go in there.
Much better than letting it float out to sea and get eaten by turtles and things.
Yes. May not be a lot, but if we all do our bit, it all makes a difference.
That feels like metal. Let's have a look. Oh. Ah, now is that a plumb bob, is it they call it? Off a plumb line? It's very rusty. What do you reckon, Phil? What do you think that is?
Quite possibly. It comes to a point.
It does, doesn't it?
If you hung a string on the top there, it would give you a direct point below. Possibly.
I like
Possibly what they used when they were building that.
Oh, it could have been, yes. It's very rusty though. I think it's older than that.
I don't know, but maybe with all this work going on here, perhaps what was originally there, coming up off that brickwork, perhaps that's where some of those bricks came from.
Yeah, and these are bits that were in there too. So it'll be disturbed.
Possibly even the metalwork we found. Might have been related to what was originally here. I don't know.
Let's keep looking, see if we find anything else exciting. I like that.
Well, I think you're right though, because that's very smooth there, isn't it?
Nice find.
Right. I am now willing to state that that very nice screwdriver was probably dropped by the gentleman who did this, because I've just found that.
Let's have a look.
There we go.
Oh yes, it's
right under the pipework.
A modern snips.
That was right under the pipework. So I'm assuming, and that's yellow and black as well. So that, the screwdriver, and the 15-foot of pipe that we found on the bottom, I'd say these lot were having a bad day and dropped an awful lot of stuff in the river. I'm keeping the screwdriver, that'll come in handy. I'm putting this in the bin because it doesn't belong in the river and it's gone well beyond use. And the 15-foot of pipe, that's just going to have to stay where it is.
What's this?
Aha, other little bits I found. You may have found the first ball, but I found the biggest ball.
Ooh, look at that.
That was caught on a stone, bobbing about in the river.
Doesn't squeak. I don't know if it ever did squeak.
Possibly somebody took the squeak out.
A pet's toy or something, possibly.
And then just that little bit of white that I picked up along the way.
All right, have
And
that.
a piece of river glass.
Oh yes.
Rather a large chunk of river glass actually.
We're just taking the last few pieces of plastic off the river. Fortunately, we found a plastic bag on the river. So it gives us something to put all these pieces of plastic in, as well as the bag we've already got. Because no matter how many bags you bring, you can always fill them all with bits of rubbish off the river. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If so, then please give us a thumbs up, and it would be great if you could subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. But until then, don't forget, have fun. Bye.